Ever landed somewhere and thought, did I just board a flight to Mars? On these islands, trees bleed red, rocks glow, and tortoises outpace your will to work. No Wi-Fi, no crowds, just nature flexing its weirdest muscles. Now, let's start the countdown from 5 to 1 and see which island feels the most out of this world. Number 5, Caroline Island, Millennium Atoll, Kiribati. Imagine stepping off a boat and hearing nothing. No music, no chatter, not even the hum of an air conditioner. Just the sound of your own thoughts and maybe a crab dragging its dinner across the sand. Welcome to Caroline Island, also known as Millennium Atoll, one of the most untouched islands on the planet. Located deep in the Pacific Ocean, this coral ring is part of Kiribati, and it's as close as you can get to pure isolation without moving to the moon. The lagoon glows in shades of turquoise and sapphire, and the sand is so white it could moonlight as toothpaste. There are no hotels, no restaurants, no shops, just endless horizon and silence thick enough to make you rethink life choices. For storytellers, this island is a masterclass in atmosphere. It's what you get when you remove every human distraction and let nature speak. The narrative here isn't about doing. It's about feeling. You arrive, you breathe, and for the first time in years, your brain stops buffering. This place is so remote, the nearest Wi-Fi signal probably needs a telescope. Caroline Island is proof that sometimes the most otherworldly thing isn't alien life. It's no life at all. It's not just a destination. It's a reset button for your senses, a reminder that silence can be the loudest sound on Earth. Number 4, Lord Howe Island, Australia. Now, hop over to Australia's Tasman Sea, about 600 kilometers off the coast, to meet Lord Howe Island, a volcanic paradise that said, nope, we're not doing crowds. Only 400 tourists are allowed at a time. 400? That's fewer people than the line at a Starbucks on Monday morning. And that's why Lord Howe feels like another planet, because it actually lets you hear nature. The island rises from the ocean like a green crescent, its twin peaks shrouded in mist. And below lies a lagoon so clear it looks photoshopped. The whole island is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, home to rare birds, corals, and plant species that exist nowhere else. It's small, quiet, and mind-bendingly beautiful. I landed here expecting to explore an island. I ended up exploring silence, the kind that makes you realize how loud your thoughts have been. Only 400 tourists allowed? I've seen more people at my dentist. And trust me, this place is way less painful. Lord Howe's magic isn't in its size, it's in its restraint. It's Earth as it was meant to be, peaceful, pristine, and politely ignoring your notifications. It's one of those rare places that doesn't shout for attention. It whispers, and somehow, you hear it louder than anything else. Number 3, Aldabra Atoll, Seychelles. If Socotra looks like another planet, Aldabra looks like the documentary footage NASA would play to prove alien life is chill. Aldabra is one of the largest raised coral atolls in the world, part of the Seychelles, floating like a giant turquoise donut in the Indian Ocean. It's home to more than 100,000 giant tortoises, the largest population on Earth. These slow, ancient creatures roam around like retired dinosaurs who've seen it all and couldn't care less about your travel vlog. The atoll is nearly uninhabited, heavily protected, and practically frozen in time. Coral reefs bloom beneath the surface, seabirds wheel overhead, and the sunsets are so intense they look illegal. I swam with a turtle that looked older than Wi-Fi, and for once, I shut up long enough to listen. That's how quiet the wild can be, so quiet it starts talking back. The tortoise looked at me like, "Oh, you're new here? Cute." And for a second, I felt like the intern of planet Earth. Aldabra teaches storytellers one big lesson: slow down. Let stillness carry the plot. Sometimes the alien feeling doesn't come from speed or color. It comes from watching life move at 1 frame per century, and realizing maybe that's the right pace after all. Number 2, Easter Island, Rapa Nui, Chile. Now let's fly halfway across the Pacific to one of the most mysterious places on Earth, Easter Island, or Rapa Nui. You've seen the photos? Colossal stone heads called moai dotting the landscape like ancient guardians. But standing there in person? It's something else entirely. The island is volcanic, remote, windswept, and feels haunted in the best way possible. Those statues, some weighing 80 tons, were carved centuries ago by the Rapa Nui people, their faces turned inland, as if still protecting something sacred. You walk among them and feel both tiny and infinite. It's not a tourist site. It's a time warp. The air feels thick with memory, and every gust of wind whispers, "We were here first." I came to see statues. I left feeling like I'd shaken hands with time itself. It's humbling, the kind of place that reminds you how small your own timeline really is. One Moai looked at me sideways. I swear it was judging my flip-flops. Probably fair. Easter Island reminds us that otherworldliness doesn't always come from nature. It can come from our own history. The alien part isn't the landscape. It's how little we understand it. It's proof that mystery isn't something we discover, it's something we're meant to feel. Number 1. Socotra Island, Yemen. And now, number 1. The crown jewel of the surreal. The island that makes every other weird place look normal. Welcome to Socotra Island, off the coast of Yemen, often called the most alien-looking place on Earth. If Dr. Seuss, Salvador Dali, and Mother Nature ever collaborated on a design project, this would be the final draft. Here, the trees look like umbrellas flipped inside out. Their bark oozes bright red resin called dragon's blood that looks straight out of a fantasy movie. More than 1/3 of all plant species here exist nowhere else on the planet. Let that sink in. Nowhere. Not in Africa, not in Asia, not even in your overwater bungalow Instagram dreams. When I stepped into that forest, surrounded by dragon's blood trees, I actually laughed. It felt like the set of a sci-fi film that forgot to end. The air smelled of frankincense. The horizon glowed red and gold. And the sound? Nothing. Just a strange humming stillness. I stepped into a forest of red bleeding trees and thought if Earth ever made a sequel, this would be the trailer. When someone asked me where I was, I said, Mars, cheaper flight. Better view? Socotra isn't just alien in how it looks, it's alien in how it feels. You're walking through something ancient, untouched and alive in ways you can't quite explain. It doesn't welcome you like a tourist destination. It observes you quietly, patiently, like the planet checking if you've finally learned to listen. At sunset, the light turns gold and red, bouncing off the strange trees and jagged cliffs. It's hauntingly beautiful, the kind of beauty that makes you stop filming because you realize the camera can't capture what your eyes can feel. Socotra teaches you something simple but unforgettable. Sometimes the most out-of-this-world places remind you how extraordinary our own world already is. What these islands teach us about storytelling. If you're a creator, traveler, or just someone who loves a good story, here's the takeaway. The reason these islands feel like other planets isn't because they're far away. It's because they're different, unfamiliar, uncomfortable in the best possible way, and that's exactly what great storytelling does. It takes your audience somewhere they've never been, but makes them feel like they belong there. So next time you travel, don't chase perfect beaches. Chase the weird tree, the odd smell, the silence that feels louder than sound. Because that's what makes your audience lean forward. When you tell your story, don't say, "It was beautiful." Say, "It was so strange it made me forget how to blink." That's when they'll remember it. If your story starts with, "We went to the beach," "It was nice. Congratulations, you just described 80% of Instagram. Aim for the other 20%. Let's recap the countdown. Caroline Island. Silence louder than music. Lord. Howe Island. 400 people feel like a crowd. Aldabra Atoll. Tortoises teach patience. Easter Island. Stone faces. Guard ancient secrets. Socotra Island, where trees bleed red and reality takes a break. These islands prove you don't need to leave Earth to feel like you've landed on another planet. If this video inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which island blew your mind the most.